Hello, everybody. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady, live here on Facebook. This is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live. And I am doing this through something called StreamYard, so I'm not actually on Facebook. But hopefully my assistant Nicole will be joining us, and she'll be able to let me know if everything's going okay, if you guys can hear me and see me on Facebook. So just let me know when you come in, just let me know where you're coming from so that I can best answer your questions about tax liens and tax deed investing, because everywhere in the country it's different. As a matter of fact, even in some states it's different. And sometimes each county is different in some states, and sometimes the cities are even different than the county. So, it just depends on where you are. So as you come on, just let me know where you're coming from so that I can best answer your question. And hello and welcome to Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live here on my business page on Facebook. Okay, all about how to invest in tax liens and how to do it profitably. Okay, so let me know. Hey, Nicole, so glad you're here. And I guess I'm being seen and heard okay on Facebook. I couldn't really test everything out, my microphone and my speakers here on my computer today when I got started. So, yeah, just let me know if everything looks okay and sounds okay over there on Facebook. And as you come in and you have questions and you type your questions in, just let me know what state you are asking about. All right. And thank you, Nicole, for letting me know that you could see me and hear me fine, because that means that the replay of this Facebook Live will be good on Facebook and people will be able to see and hear what I say. Okay, so while we're waiting for questions, while we're waiting for people to come on and ask me their questions, let me tell you guys what's going on now. One of the things that's going on now are the Indiana commissioner sales. And thanks to COVID, many of these are online, more than in past years. As a matter of fact, in past years, only 2 or 3 of these sales were online, and there were 9 online at the beginning of the season, and now there are 3 more that are online. 2 of them one of them has already transpired. One of them is, I think, might be going on now, or might be done already. But I think one of them will end their registration today, or actually start the bidding today. A couple of them are going to be going on this week, but there are more coming up. These are going to happen throughout March and April. And I'm doing a course right now, a Done With You training on the Indiana commissioner sale. So why do I love these tax sales? A few reasons. Number one, at these sales, the redemption period is shortened. In Indiana, for tax liens, the redemption period is 1 year. But when a lien doesn't sell in the regular tax lien sale, which happens in the fall, then it is certified to the county commissioner. And then in late winter or early spring, the commissioner sales happen. Now, in those sales, not only is the redemption period shortened to only 4 months instead of 1 year, but the starting bid is lowered. So it's lowered even below the taxes that are due. And each county gets to decide what that amount will be. And I've seen it anywhere from $25 in some counties to as much as $500 in others, but that's still lower than the back taxes in a lot of cases. All right, so the bidding starts lower, all right? And in Indiana, they do bid up the price of the lien, and you get your penalty and interest on the entire, well, you get your penalty on the entire bid amount, all right, which is 12% per annum or 1% each month. And you get an extra 5% interest on whatever is bid above the back taxes that were due. Okay, so those are a couple of reasons why I like Indiana, and I kind of told you in just a couple of sentences what all those reasons were. But number one, the redemption period is shortened. Number two, the starting bid is lowered. Number three, you get your interest or penalty on everything that you bid. There are some places that bid premium where you don't get any interest on the premium. Colorado, you don't even get your premium back. But in Indiana, if the lien redeems, you get your premium back with the penalty. And there's one more thing that I like about this sale, and I forget what it is right now, but you know what? I have an article on my blog, and I list those things on my blog. And my blog is at taxlieninvestingtips.com, and you can go there and read that article. I think it's the first article that's up there. It was published March 12th. So, okay. So say hello, let me know where you're from, and what are your questions? What can I do today that will help you start investing in tax liens or tax deeds? What problem do you need to have solved? What question do you have for me? So go ahead and type in your question into the comments on Facebook. It will come to me here on StreamYard. And Nicole, let me know if we've had any questions. I didn't see any in my email today. Have we had any on the other Facebook pages, the other Facebook sites, or from LinkedIn that we can answer today? Okay. And Nicole has just put in the link for you for the blog, taxlieninvestingtips.com. All right, so we were talking about the Indiana Commissioner sales and about the course that I'm doing right now. It's Done With You training for these sales, where I will actually show you how to register for these sales, how to do your due diligence on the properties, and how to bid on these tax sales or in these tax sales, basically for the ones that are online, which there are a few. But I'll also show you how to find out about the ones that are live too. And this training is going on now. It started a couple of weeks ago, and the first two modules are up in the training program. And we also have some live training calls, some live mentoring calls. We had one a couple of weeks ago that was added to the course, and that's there in the training program. We have another one tomorrow night. And then we'll have two more after that. So we have 3 more live calls that you could get in on. Plus, there will be 2 more modules added to the course in the next 4 weeks. In the next 3 or 4 weeks. It ends April 7th. That will be our last live call. And this is all while most of these sales are going on. All right, and Nicole has already put in there for you the link to register for that training or to find out more about it. Okay. All right, so any other questions? If you guys have questions about that training, be happy to answer them for you. Questions about the Indiana sales that are going on now, or about anything else that has to do with tax liens or tax deeds. I'm happy to answer those questions for you. That is why I'm here. By the way, we've been doing these Facebook Lives the first 3 weeks of the month. We're going to change that, and we're not going to be doing them as often. We're going to be doing them the first and third Tuesday every month. So we're still going to continue to do these, but we're only going to do them twice a month on the first and third Tuesday of the month. Hey, Gary, do you know if there is a mortgage on a tax deed in Birmingham, Alabama? Will it be wiped out? Okay, To make sure, you would check the state statutes for Alabama. And mortgages are usually wiped out during in a tax deed auction. They're not wiped out in a tax lien auction, right? Because they're not wiped out until the tax lien is foreclosed. But with a tax deed auction, mortgages are in most states are wiped out. And I believe in Alabama they are. But if you really want to know for sure, there's two ways you can know for sure. One is to check the state statutes for Alabama. The other is to call whoever is responsible for the sale and ask them. Now, they can't give legal advice, but you can ask them what liens and judgments survive the tax sale. Okay, because there are some that will. Mortgages usually do not survive. It only in a couple of states they will, but I do not believe they do in Alabama. Okay, but if you ask whoever is responsible for the sale, what liens or judgments survive the tax sale, the tax deed sale, they can tell you that. All right, they can't give you legal advice, excuse me, but they can tell you that. Because any government liens will survive. Okay, and usually those are the only things that survive, except in some states, POA liens, property owner association liens, and HOA liens, homeowner association liens, in some states do now survive those sales. They didn't used to, but in some states they do now. All right, Gary, so I hope that answered your question. And hey, Enrique, good to see you again. And by the way, guys, I live here in Pennsylvania on the East Coast, right? But my husband just accepted a job in Washington State. So in the near future, I will be moving to the Pacific Coast. But although it's in Washington State, it is not on the western side of Washington State. I'll be really close to Idaho and Oregon in the southeast corner of Washington in a, well, it's called a city, but it's kind of more like a town of Pasco. Okay. We're not even by any big airports. He flew into Tri-City Airport for the interview. So in the future, and it's going to be, probably sometime over the summer, I will be moving to the Pacific Coast. So some of the times might change that we do some of these trainings. Although 2 o'clock is, this one might not change to Eastern because it's still at a good time for me on Pacific time. It would be 11 o'clock. So we still might do these Facebook Lives at the same time. Yeah, Enrique, I think I will love it over there. I have never been to Washington. I've been to California. I've been to Northern California a few times. And I've been to Southern California too. And I've been to Oregon, but I really didn't get out much when I was at Oregon. I was speaking in Portland for a big group, real estate investing group, AREA, and I was inside the whole time. So I really didn't get out much to see Oregon at all. Plus, that's all on the west side, the coastal side, which is very busy and very congested. And I'll be living on a more rural side of Washington anyway, of the state of Washington, which is nice because where I live right now is pretty rural. That is even a little more spread out than where I live right now. Okay. Thank you, Angie. All right, so any other questions? That's why I'm here, guys, to answer your questions. So, tell me, what are your questions? What are your concerns about tax lien investing? And Gary, I will let you know that Alabama is not not my favorite state to invest in. As a matter of fact, I don't do any personal investing there. I have had clients that have invested there. The reason I am not crazy about Alabama is because the judges in that state favor property owners over investors. It could be good or it could not be good. It depends on what side you're on, right? But they're not very favorable to investors. As a matter of fact, this past year, they rescinded tax sales. There was a judge that overturned tax sales. So I think the National Tax Lien Association is working on disputing that. But in the meantime, as I said, it's not one of my favorite places. However, if you live there, certainly look into those tax sales. What about New York City, Ronald? Thank you for asking. New York City is not a place to invest because they do sell liens, but they do not sell to private investors. They only sell to big fund companies. They bundle everything up into billions of dollars, and they sell to big fund companies. So they do not have sales for individual investors. However, all the areas around New York City do. That's the 5 boroughs that do what I was talking about. But Nassau County has a tax lien sale every year in February. They did not have one this year because of COVID. However, that is a very competitive sale. It is now online. I don't really, I'm not a fan of Nassau County. However, the villages in Nassau County can have their own sales. So I would check that out. And the villages in Suffolk County have their own sales. So I would check out the individual. New York is a funny animal because even though the counties do one thing, the cities can do what they want. And I like New York. I love New York. I have personally gone to live tax sales in one of the counties in New York, not the county, because that county, like most of the counties in New York, are deed sales. They have deed sales, but I went to a lien sale in a city in one of those counties that have deed sales because the cities can do what they want and they make their own rules. It's really, like I said, New York's a different animal. But if you like deeds, New York State is a great place to go to the deed sales. Many of them are online. Okay. Enrique is asking, you ever heard of IRS abating taxes owed? Enrique, and what do you mean by abating? I'm kind of aware of the term abating, and I think it means forgiving the taxes owed. I think that's what it means. I'm not sure. So Enrique, enlighten me on that, and we can talk a little bit about those IRS liens. Hey, Kevin, I do know about Arizona. I have invested there in the online sales in Arizona, and I just finished a course on the Arizona sales for this year. The sales that just went on, they're done now. And should you buy the subsequent tax liens on a property that you already have liens on? And that, Kevin, depends on the county. Some counties have a clear priority of liens and some don't. If there are no prior liens on the property that you have a lien on, and the other thing is some counties require that there only be one certificate on a property, one tax sale certificate on a property. That means that if you don't pay the subsequent taxes in those counties, they're going to sell your lien in the next sale. I actually like that better than the counties that don't do that, because the counties that don't do that don't have a clear priority of liens. So, so it's up to you whether you want to pay the subsequent taxes on a property. You're going to get charged $5 every time you pay the subs. If it's a good amount, I would pay them. And it also depends on what you bid at the sale, because you only get on your subs what you bid at the sale. So if you bid it down, down really low, it might not be worth it to pay the subs. So it's that really depends on the county, on two things: the county and your individual situation. Okay. Oh yeah, Maricopa County is different. What they do is, if for subsequent taxes, they actually issue you another certificate. So they might charge you $10 instead of just $5 to pay your subs. Yeah, and for people that bid down to zero, there's no reason to bid down to zero. They don't get anything, and they won't get anything on their subs. They might think they're getting the property, but 99% of those properties are going to redeem. Not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Maybe I just, I'm only speaking from my experience and what I know. So maybe there's something I don't know, but from what I know, it's not a bright thing to do. Okay. All right. And Enrique says abatement is forgiving. Yeah. So with the IRS, if there's an IRS lien on the property, would it be abated? I wouldn't count on it, Enrique. The IRS has 120 days to redeem the lien, or redeem the property to get there. So it depends on the amount of the IRS lien. If it's a 10,000 IRS lien, are they going to bother? Probably not. Probably not. It'll probably just go away, because after 4 months, it falls off the property and follows the person that it was levied on in the first place. All right. But they have 4 months to redeem the property. If it was a couple $100,000 and the property is worth less than that, or maybe as much as that, they might redeem the property. But I have not heard of them abating it. Okay. Eli, if a big fund wanted to get involved in New York City, how would they go about it? I'm not sure that they can. They only sell to 2 really huge funds. That's beyond my expertise, Eli. Sorry, I cannot help you with that. Okay, and Kevin is saying about Arizona, I see you can foreclose after 3 years, and there is another after 5 years. Know the difference. Okay. The difference in Arizona, whether you can foreclose in 3 years or 5 years, is this. You can do the foreclosure in 3 years, or supposedly, if you don't, you could wait 5 years and then go through a different process and get the deed. You don't actually have to go through the foreclosure. I have not known anybody that has done that. So I'm not sure about that process. But after 3 years, you can get you would need to get an attorney to foreclose. After 5 years, you would not need an attorney. It would be some kind of process that you go through. And I'm not familiar with that process. I'm only familiar with the foreclosure. Okay. Yeah, and Kevin, I don't know why people bid down zero, and I know there's a crazy amount of people that do. I don't think they know. I'm guessing, and you could find out, like if you bid at some of these sales, like in Maricopa County on realauction.com, you can find out, on Real Auction, I don't know if you can find out who bid. And you might be able to find out who, if you were bidding, who the other bidders were. And then you would know if they were experienced bidders, like if they were bidding for a company, or if they were just bidding for themselves. Then my guess would be they don't know what the heck they're doing. Okay. Yeah, Kevin says the IRS always gets their money. One way or the other, but they don't always, if you buy a property at a tax deed sale and it has an IRS lien on it, they're not necessarily going to get that from you. They're going to try to get it from the property, or after they only have 4 months to redeem the property. They can't go after you, right? But they can go after the original owner who the lien was actually put on to begin with. Okay. Have I ever foreclosed on properties in Arizona? No, I haven't. Any liens that I bought in Arizona redeemed, and they were on land. Like I said, 90% of the liens are going to redeem. Now, if you buy a lien on a crack house or on a property that's not worth anything, like a landlocked piece of land, then it won't redeem and you'll wind up with it, and then you'll have to foreclose. But I teach my students how to do their homework. So I have not been involved with foreclosure in Arizona. Okay. Oh, Kevin says you can only see their ID number, so you can't see who bid. But you know what? That is public information. So if you ask, you might be able to find that out. If you ask the treasurer. Okay. You've seen the same number bidding 0 on a large amount of properties. Yeah, it would be interesting to know if that was a company or a person. That would be interesting to find out. If it was a company, I would guess that maybe they know something. And if it was an individual, I guess that they don't know what they're doing. But I could be wrong. Who knows? All right. Any other questions? Okay, let's see. Sequoia asked, Arizona bids down interest rates in tax sales. Yes, they do. How many are there per year in Arizona? Where is your favorite place to go tax lien certificate shopping? It's not Arizona. It's not Arizona because I don't like the states that bid down the interest. All right. I like states where you pay premium and get interest on all the premium that you bid. So I don't really have a favorite county in Arizona, but the one that I did bid in back in 2015 was Mojave. All right. Maricopa is too competitive. So I would look at the other smaller counties. And even this year, I think they all were really competitive. And my favorite place to go tax lien shopping, well, I do like the live sales in New Jersey, but I don't tell you about my favorite spots because I leave that for my students, my coaching clients. They get to know my secrets. There are places that not too many people know about, or that are my favorite places to go. And those are the places I let my students know and my coaching clients know about. And if you'd like to be one of my students, you could join the Indiana training that we're doing right now. And Nicole can put that link in again. Or you could go to my website, taxlienlady.com. There is, in the top menu, there is a tab for coaching. You could find out about my coaching. It's very affordable compared to what other people in my space charge. And you can also find out about my membership program, where we do a group coaching call every month. As a matter of fact, our next call is tomorrow. So if you want to join, and you get tools to do your due diligence. to actually look at the properties in the tax sale, to filter the list, get the list, filter the list, and look at the properties in the sale. And that comes with your membership. It's $149 a month. And you could find out more about that. On my website, taxlienlady.com, there is, in the top menu, there is a tab that says join membership. And if you click on that, it'll tell you all about it. And then there's another link at the bottom of that page where you could go join to the page where you could actually join. And Nicole has put the link in for the Indiana Commissioner's Sale training that we're doing. And Nicole, you could put a link into the membership as well. All right, so let's see what other questions. Okay, Kevin is asking, what states should I look at outside of Arizona and Indiana? I mentioned in the beginning, the Indiana Commissioner Sales. I do like those. I also like some redeemable deed states. Here's the other thing I like. I like states that don't have really high interest rates because they're going to be really competitive. Like, I do like redeemable deed states, but Texas or Georgia are so competitive because it's 25% and 20%. So I like the states that have more modest interest rates, like 10 or 12% per year, because they're not as super competitive. And I like redeemable deed states because the price gets bid up and you get your interest on everything that you bid, right? Just like the Indiana Commissioner Sales. Okay. Is it necessary to record a lien in New Jersey within 90 days? Yes, Eli, and I'll tell you a story so that you do record that lien. If you have one, you will want to record it. I had somebody approach me with secondary liens for sale. For you guys that don't know what a secondary lien is, I like secondary liens. I don't like over-the-counter liens, and they don't sell over-the-counter liens or deeds everywhere either. And a lot of places in New Jersey, they don't, right? But I like secondary liens because I'm buying a lien from somebody that already bought it, and now it's ready to foreclose. So I can cut out all that time, buy the lien, and then do the foreclosure. I mean, there's things that you need to look out for when you do this because you can lose money if you don't do it right. All right, you have to buy it right. Okay, but I do like secondary liens. So somebody approached me with 2 liens. They wanted to sell. I said, fine, give me the information. Looked at the information. One of the liens was not really a good lien, didn't like it. The other one was a great lien. I loved it. I said, okay, send me the certificate. I want a copy. Show me a copy of the tax lien certificate. So he sent me a copy of the certificate, and I could tell right away it hadn't been recorded. So I emailed him, did you record this lien? Is this the only page? Because when you record it, there's another page that's put on top. In New Jersey, we're talking about New Jersey liens now. And I said, was this lien recorded? And he said, no, I was told I didn't have to record it, which was not true. He said somebody told him he didn't have to record it, and that is totally not true. Not in New Jersey. In some other states it is, but not in New Jersey, okay? Here's what happened. I did not buy that lien because his lien was was a couple of years old, and now I could foreclose on it. But somebody had a prior lien to his and already foreclosed. So the property had changed hands. And because all he had to do was record the lien, if he recorded the lien, it would still be good. I'd still be able to go ahead and foreclose on it. But because he didn't record it, the lien was unenforceable. So his lien was now worth nothing, and it was a $5,000 lien. Okay, he lost, because he didn't pay $50 to record it, he lost $5,000. All right. So yes, it's necessary to record your lien in 90 days. Normally that would not be a problem. See, even if you don't record it in 90 days, and I've done that before with liens, and then I've gone later and recorded it and it's fine. But because the property had changed hands and he hadn't recorded it in that 90-day window, he lost his entire investment. So don't take that chance, just record it, okay, within the 90 days. All right, and Nicole has given you a link to the membership, and the link that she gave you takes you right to the page that just gives you everything that's in the membership and the link to go ahead and get in. And that big button is for the yearly membership, which is $14.90 for the year. You actually get a couple months free when you do the yearly membership. There is a link below that button for the monthly membership where you could do it for $149 a month. Okay. But if you go to my website, taxlienlady.com, there's another link at the top that says join membership. And if you click on that, it has a whole article that tells you more about what's in it if you have questions about it before you join. Are they online in Indiana? Kevin's asking the commissioner sales. Yes, many of them are. That's why I'm doing the Done With You training now for Indiana. And Nicole had already put that link in there if you're interested in that training. The training is $497. It includes 4 modules. 2 of them are not even out yet. We're doing this as the training is going on. And it includes 4 live calls with me. One of these calls has already taken place. They are group mentoring calls, and it's been recorded, and it's already there for you to review in the training. Okay, and the next call is tomorrow night. So if you want to be in on the next call, and on the next call, we're having a tax lien attorney, my tax lien attorney, that is in Indiana and does the whole state is going to be on. Okay, to let us know exactly what it takes to foreclose on an Indiana tax lien, because there you do have a little bit more of a chance of foreclosing on a tax lien at the commissioner sale than at the regular sale, because now it's shortened to 4 months. The redemption period is shortened to 4 months. And there are certain things that you could do. You could look for, and I have software that I provide to people that are in this training that helps them do this, because it shows them if there is a mortgage on the property. What it doesn't show is if the property is occupied or not. You kind of have to drive by to see that. But here's ways that you can better your chance of actually getting the property. If it's vacant, if there's an out-of-state owner, which you could find out from the program, from the software that we use, and if there is not a mortgage on it, which you can also find out. So those are things that that I can help you do. And I was going to tell you something else. Oh, and on my website, you will see an interview, not on my website, but on my blog on the Tax Lien Investing Tips blog. I took somebody to that tax sale in 2019. They bought 3 liens for $15,000. You do have to pay a little bit more because remember, the price of the lien gets bid up at the sale. So he bought 3 liens for $15,000 total for all 3. 2 of them redeemed. One of them redeemed pretty right away. One of them redeemed after the 4 months were just about over. And then one did not redeem, so he actually got the property. And I have an interview with him on my blog, and you could go watch it on my blog at taxlieninvestingtips.com. And maybe, Nicole, maybe you could put in a link that actually to that post. I think it's the second one on the page if you just go to taxlieninvestingtips.com. And yes, a few of these sales are online, which is why I'm doing this course. So Eli is asking, if there is no prior and you pay all the subs, is it still what? Eli, I'm not sure what you're asking. And is this about New Jersey that you're asking? Because we were talking about recording the lien in New Jersey within 90 days. So I'm not sure what your question is. Okay, so please specify. Necessary to oh yes, you have to record. Yes, it's necessary to record. You do not record the subs, you only record the lien. You record the tax lien certificate. So here's how it works in New Jersey. You go to sale, or you do it online, and the lien is sent to you by mail. Okay. When you get it, you have to send it in to the county recorder with the money to record it. Okay. And an index page. You have to fill out the index page. Very easy. I'm not going to go into details here. This is something that I could do in my membership or in my coaching. You fill out that, you send it in with the recording fee, which might be different for each county. It goes to the county clerk. Then it comes back to you. And some of the tax collectors in New Jersey require that you send them a copy of the recorded certificate, because now it has an extra page on it. So they know that it's recorded. Okay, yeah, and my story didn't really have anything to do with subsequent taxes. You have to, it was just about the lien itself. There was somebody that had a prior lien who did not pay the subsequent taxes, but they had already foreclosed. And they were probably going through foreclosure when this person bought the lien. They were going through the foreclosure process. And they don't have to redeem any subsequent liens. They only have to redeem any, well, they can't redeem any prior liens, but they only have to notify any prior lien holders. I don't want to get into all the details now. New Jersey is a very complicated state, but again, this is something that I would go over with my students when I do my group coaching call every month, which is tomorrow, and I actually show my screen when I do it. I have I usually have a presentation that I do, and then I show my screen and show them how to do certain things. Okay. Okay, Angie, what is a utility lien? Do all areas offer them? I don't quite understand. Is it an easement for the utility service? No, it is not an easement. All right, so here's what a utility lien is. So let's say you live in XYZ city and you pay your sewer and water bill to the XYZ municipal authority, right? To the city municipal authority. Well, if you don't pay that bill in some states, that can wind up in the tax sale. And that is what happens in New Jersey. Okay. Not all states. Arizona does not do that. Some states do and some states don't. And here's the thing, the states that don't include it in the tax sale, if you foreclose on a lien in those states, those are government liens, they are going to survive. Okay. That's why I like the states that do include it. And that is something you have to watch out for in Indiana. Because you could wind up with city liens that do survive a tax sale foreclosure. All right, that's why you do a title search. And actually, it's your attorney that does that. And you do need to hire an attorney in Indiana as soon as you buy the liens. And this is the reason why I'm going to have an attorney do the next mentoring call with me. What can I find free tax sale resource? I don't know what your question is, Mario. I don't understand that. Can you specify that, please? What is it that you're looking for? Tell me what you're looking for, Mario, and I'll see if there's something that you can find for free. All right, so Angie, did I answer your question about what a utility lien is? And no, all areas do not offer them, but it's by state. New Jersey does. And Angie, what state are you in? When you guys come on and you ask me questions, tell me what state you're talking about, because that makes a big difference. Okay. Yeah, but it's not for an easement. An easement is just something that's on the deed, and nobody pays. You don't have to pay for an easement. All right, you just have to. If somebody has an easement on a property, it stays with the property. So if you foreclose on a property that has an easement on there, a utility easement, then the utility gets to use that easement. You know, you can't not let them have access to that. But you're not going to pay taxes on it. You're not going to pay anything for it. All right, Angie. Well, if you have another question about that, ask me. If there's something that you don't understand about what I just said, ask. All right. And Mario, can you tell me what is it that you're looking for? And what state are you in? And Eli, I hope I've answered your question. Right? You understand it's always necessary to record the lien in New Jersey, or you could lose your money. All right, Gary, if we are out of state for Indiana commissioner sale, how do we have someone look at the property? Are there services that provide this? Yeah, there are. The source that I use, that I give to my students, does provide it. It's at an extra cost, though. It's per property. Like it could be like $20 per property. So what you want to do is filter the list and narrow it down to only, a few properties. And depending on where in Indiana, you might also find others. So I do have other sources. And if you do the Indiana training, there are other people in that training that might be willing to do it for you also for less money than $20 a property. Okay. Do we have any other questions? And Mario, I still don't understand your question. So if you tell me, what is it that you're looking for? And in what state, I might be able to tell you where to go. Okay. And thank you so much, guys, for all the likes and loves we're getting here on here. All right, so Angie says, okay, so if the utility lien gets foreclosed, then the property would only be usable for that utility purpose. No, you're not understanding at all. A utility lien, if it goes to sale, is the exact same as a tax lien. If a person forecloses on that lien, they get the property. It has nothing to do with the type of property. Like I own a house. If I own a house in New Jersey and I have to pay my water and sewer tax and I pay it to the township and I don't pay it, then it goes into the tax lien sale and an investor can buy it. And if I don't pay in 2 years, if I never pay, after 2 years, they can foreclose on my property and get my property. It's a tax lien. It's for a utility amount. It's for the amount of the unpaid utilities. It's just like unpaid taxes. I'm glad you asked that question, Angie, so that I could make it clear that I never even thought of it before, because I've been to tax sales and I know what a utility lien is. I never thought that it might sound like that. But it's a lien. It's not on the utility. It's on the property. Just like a tax lien, it's not on the taxes. It's on the property, right? The lien is on the property. The utility lien is on the property. It's just what you didn't pay, or what the owner didn't pay the utility company. Now, does it make sense? Let me know. Ask me another question if you don't really understand it, because you might not be the only one, you know? And I want to make everybody understand this. All right. For the $20, will they give a value opinion? I believe they give a report. I'd have to look and see exactly, and it's probably different for each state what they actually provide. And they will, and you could get like an example one, so they would show you what they actually provide. But I don't even think all you really need is somebody just to drive by, because you get all this information. Well, it depends. Like if you do my training and you get the tools and the software, you find out everything you need to know about the property. All you need is for somebody to drive by to see if it's occupied, to see if they could find out if it's occupied or not, or if it's vacant. Here's what you want to see, okay? Is it still there? Does it have a roof? Is it burnt down? That's all you really want to check out, because with the software that we use, the tools that we use, you're going to actually see the property, but those pictures might be from a year ago or 2 years ago. You don't know what it looks like today. You don't know if it's still there. Could have burnt down, right? It could not have a roof. I've seen properties like that, I know. All right, so Angie, now you understand. Okay, so a property could have both the tax lien and the utility lien. Yes. In New Jersey, yes. And what they do in New Jersey, they combine it into one lien if there's both. And a lot of times the tax collectors will let you know what is in the sale. And they do this. They will either, they'll specify T for taxes, U for utility, C for combined, O for other. Because anything that the town can charge you, like let's say they have to mow your lawn and they give you a special assessment, or let's say they have a demolition and they, take down your house and then charge you for it. Well, that all can go into the tax sale, and it all goes on that tax lien certificate. And the tax collector, when you go to the sale or when you register for the sale and they provide the list, they usually let you know using that code, T, C, and O. T meaning taxes, O meaning other, and C combined. Oh, and they will use, sometimes they'll use water, they'll use a W or an S for water and sewer, because it could be either of those things. Okay. And that's New Jersey that I'm talking about. Each state is different. Some states do not include this stuff. Some states do. All right. Jean, hey, Jean. Who gives a report? I jumped on late. You'll have to watch the replay. No, only kidding, only teasing. I'm talking about people that are in my training have access, and my members area have access to tax sale finders, which is a tool where they can get reports on the properties that are in the sale. And there's actually 2 different reports. You could get the main report, and there's, depending on your level, you get a certain amount of reports a month. And if you want somebody to actually drive by the property and do that type of report, you can pay extra for that. I think it's $20 a property, and it might change depending on where it is. Okay. And Jean, you will have to listen to the replay because we've had a lot of good questions today. All right. Any other questions before? Oh my gosh, I've got to go. So I didn't realize the time got away from me because I do have another call at 3:00. I have a profit planning session with someone, and if anybody wants a 30-minute session with me, you could go to taxlienlady.com/mentoring dash application. Nicole, you could put that in there. I am going to sign off, and I'll see you guys. We will do this again the first Tuesday next month in April. Okay. I'll see you then. And we will be in the Investing for Success group on Thursday, but this is the last time we're going to be in there. And you can always join our private Facebook group. It's free, Investing for Success. Nicole, you could put the link in there too. I've got to sign off. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful